Oh hey y'all, I'm Fatty, and thanks for joining me in a bathtub full of your grandma's speck sweat. And today I am bringing you the top 5 hidden base locations / top 5 rat holes for the Crystal Isles map. And let's just jump right into it. Okay, so for this list, I'm doing something different than I did for my last video. My last video I did on the very first day that the map launched, and a lot of these have been patched. I honestly think about 3 out of the 5 I did in my first video were patched, so I'm really sorry about that. But we're going to take another crack at it, and all these ones are new. I've checked them on official. They work. Some of them actually were built on an official and totally wrecked me, so I already know that they're actually very defendable. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you the coordinates from the middle of the actual base, whether it's in a rat hole, kind of hidden away or whatnot. Then I will show you any other coordinates and landmarks that will help you get there, because one of the feedbacks I got from my last video was that they were so hard to find, or like just really difficult, that they couldn't really fathom or like figure out like where to really go. And even some of these, after recording them, me trying to find the spots were kind of difficult. So I will show you guys any landmarkers and all the coordinates involved completely to help you guys find these locations. And let's just jump into that number 5 spot. So swooping into that number 5 spot, we got one located at 40.173.9. Now this is going to be located in the floating islands area of the map, and this is going to be the one of the ones that are kind of on the underside that kind of create a little cave, and that are extremely hard to see, especially from the underside. If you're just flying around looking for the base, it is really difficult to see. Now this one is actually one of my favorite ones on this list just because of how big it is. You have a giant area where you can put a really nice flat base, you can put really big dinos, you can actually get wyverns and quetzals to be able to float them up here. And as well as back in here in this little area, you have a nice tiny little rat hole to put, like, you know, your log off box and stuff like that to really help you keep defended. Now this one is one of the more tricky ones to find because there are so many of these floating islands that are just everywhere that it really makes it difficult to find this one, which makes this one really difficult to find, which is nice, but at the same time, you know, if you're trying to find this location for your very first time, it might be near impossible. So I'm going to give you guys a couple little tips and tricks to find this one if you're looking down from the ocean. So first off, you're going to see a lot of these giant tree trunks with just the little like aberrant mushrooms on it. And the big key I like to point out is that the trunk kind of goes into the water. So if you're looking down, all these like tree branches and stuff are actually going to be going into the water, and you're going to be on the side of the floating islands where you can see the, I guess, grasslands or like the swamp area of the map. So it's not going to be on the side where you can see the Arctic biome. You know, when you look around, you're going to be able to see the swamp. Also, you can see the orange crystals. That's another good indication that you're in the right area. So when you do it, just find these tree trunks, just kind of follow it up, and you're going to find that little tiny rat hole. And like, no joke guys, if this one wasn't taken up on the server I was on by someone, I would be all over this spot. Like I said, this is probably my favorite one just because of the size of it. And you know, like as I'm showing here, there's another spot where you can put a little turret tower on the opposite side too, and it's glorious. This spot is just amazing. 10 out of 10 would recommend to any friend. Crawling its way into that number 4 spot, we got 76.9 40.1. Now this one's going to be located out in the desert, and as far as desert bases go, I had a really hard time finding too many rat holes or smaller areas. This was the primary one that I could find, and there's a couple benefits to it, but also a couple little downfalls for it. This is going to be great for those smaller tribes, especially for like, not even small tribes, I'm talking about like the 2-3 man tribe at really most. This one's going to be really nice for that size, just because the entrance to this one is not very big. So you're going to be able to fly like a Pteranodon in here and an RG, but that's about as big as any dinosaur is going to be. So cryopods are going to be a man's best friend in this location, as well as just like you can't get like wyverns or anything into it. So it makes it nice for raid protection, because you're not going to be able to really have people just like run up dinosaurs in here, or be able to, you know, fly anything too big just to soak up a lot of turrets, or really get a good line of sight for rockets, grenades, anything like that. So it does make it very defensible in that kind of an aspect. And it's very flat. You can build very nicely on it, you know, not without too many obstacles. It's very tall too, so it might not be the widest or the biggest, but you're going to be able to get some verticality into it. So you're going to be able to fit everything you need to in a very small location. That's going to be very nice. One downside of this one I would say is that this bigger front opening is not bad by any means, but it allows like light from forges and campfires, industrial grills, stuff like that. So just be aware of that. That is one thing you're going to definitely need to watch out for, especially if you're playing this one on night, is just make sure that you put out your fires. Now, the very last benefit of this one, which is not going to be for everybody or very useful, but there is an artifact up here as well. So you're going to have to watch a little bit of the traffic, but for the most part, I don't think a lot of people on official servers are going for this right now. Everyone's still kind of trying to build up, but it is the artifact of the Craig, and I'll throw the coordinates up as well there, so, you know, a little bonus fact in this one as well. And let's just move on. Swooping into that number 3 spot, we got 50.9, 80.7. Now this one's going to be located again in the floating islands area. Now one of the biggest landmarks I want to point out are, I don't know what to call them, they're like these orange and gray like blobs that they're kind of floating around the island. That's going to be the main indication on this island where to kind of go, and from there you see this ledge. You're along the ocean side where you look out and you just see straight ocean, and you can see the swampland a little bit, but really when you see those kind of orange things, you just really want to look up and just fly up, and you will kind of see a very small opening, and that will lead to this like bigger area. Now this one isn't the flattest of areas, so this one's gonna be a little bit more tricky to actually fit like a bigger base in there, but especially for, you know, small tribes, you know, just have a couple Pteranodons and RGs and stuff like that to start out with. This one's gonna be incredibly hidden. It's at the edge of the map, so not a lot of people, as they're just like traversing, are gonna go to this area of the floating islands. They're more likely to kind of cut through and see the main portion of it, so it really gives you that little bit of opportunity. As well in this area, there's a lot of metal resources and stuff, so like especially if you're beginning and you're just trying to find that first little hidden base to build up and kind of then explore and scout out the rest of the map, this one is definitely going to be for you. Real quick before we get into that number 2 and number 1 spot, I just want to thank everybody who supports the channel, everybody that's clicked the subscribe button down below or hit the membership and joined and supporting me on the channel every month. Thank you guys so much. Also, just to let you guys know, I stream Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm going to be switching over to Twitch for streaming, but I also do make videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I'm going to be cutting up those Twitch streams and putting them on YouTube as well. And we release some merchandise, which really helps support the channel a lot. So if you guys want, all the links down below are there. We also do run a private server right now that is on Crystal Islands for like boss fights, PvP, and just a great community. If you guys want, there's a link to the Discord down there for all the connection info and just, you know, some ARC fun. And just please join if you guys feel like it. And let's go on to the next one. Almost clutching that number 1 spot, coming in at number 2 is going to be 51.7, 73.5. Now again, this one is going to be unfortunately located in the floating isles. Now I'm going to throw out one little caveat to any of the floating isle spaces. There are a ton of tribes in there, so be careful, be safe, make sure you hide your fires. Now this one is going to be a little bit more tricky. It's not the biggest one, but it's definitely one of the most hidden ones. So it is going to be in this like little fly through in this island, and tucked up way high in the corner behind bushes, behind metal, behind a bunch of just hiding stuff, you are going to find just this amazing little rat hole with like one entrance on one side, which I'm going to show you on this little part, and then you can kind of wiggle your way through this, and then you're going to see this other little exit to the side. Now this is incredibly hidden. Like we built in this one for a while, and the only reason why we got found was because we were not smart enough and put our parasaur somewhere else that wasn't right where our base was, so they kind of found us. But you know, lesson learned, you know, don't do that shit. I did that shit, it was bad. You don't do that shit. But it's a really nice one. There's lots of little resources around here. You're definitely gonna need a flyer to get up there, but you're gonna be able to get most of the stuff that you need. There's beaver dams nearby, ton of metal, close by obsidian. I mean, this one's just gonna be a really solid spot for anyone, especially just trying to start up. Like, you're gonna stay hidden, and if you can really build up big in that spot, you know, you can conquer this entire little floating island. There's a lot of water and stuff up above for a farm, you know, inlets for boats and water creatures, so you could really take this base and expand upon it and make it something a lot bigger and better than just that little rat hole. Just coming in savagely at number 1 is going to be located at 34.3, 51.0. Now, by far, this one is going to be my favorite one. One, not a lot of people build in the Arctic biome because they're just a bunch of whiny little babies and they can't handle the cold and they don't want to eat raw meat to survive, and that's fine. If that's not your playstyle, then maybe this isn't for you. But this one is going to be located in the ice cave. Now, the easiest way I'm going to suggest finding this location is starting at the main entrance at the very base of the cave. So there's several entrances into this. One's like behind a waterfall, and it's like kind of 2 layers to it. And then there's other ones as well. The main one that's going to be just like ice, and it's going to be really just like a bigger entrance. You know, it's going to be the main one. Fly around, you guys are going to figure it out. Now, this one is going to be really tricky. So when you fly up, you're going to have to just first enter that cave and then kind of look up and into your left. Now, the coordinate's going to be 34.1, 51.2, where one of the entrances to this rat hole is. Now, there's two of them, and they're both like incredibly hidden and really tricky to find. But when you do build up in here, you can get quetzals, you can get wyverns to fit in there, and there's a nice ledge. So there's big flat open area where you can build a pretty nice size base. I mean, this is going to be bigger than any like small tribes necessarily really has to have, as well as you can put on this ledge where you can't really build stuff. You can put turrets up there. That's going to make it, you know, harder for them to actually find and destroy because they can't really peek in and see it, as well as you're going to be able to park your big dinosaurs up there, which makes it really nice. So yeah, like I said, in the big cave, ice cave, which is going to be located at 31.1, 48.4. So when you do that, just kind of go in nice and slowly, and you're going to look up. Now, I know I just say look up because there's not a lot of landmarks in there, which is why I absolutely love this one. It is so kind of tucked up and hidden, but it's not really like a glitchy rat hole. Like, this is obviously meant to be in here, so this isn't going to be one that's going to get patched out in a couple days or something like that. Like my first video, F in the comments if you watched that first video and you couldn't find a single base, because I just went back through and I could only find 2 of them because they got patched out, which is really crappy. But you know, hey, brand 5 spanking new ones here. So like I said, this one's amazing. You're not going to be able to see campfires. You're going to keep everyone just hidden. You're going to be cold. Just be prepared. But you know, there's penguins out front, so you could go tame some of them, as well as just like cash in on that organic polymer. There's another cave entrance kind of up top, and it's more towards the like redwood side of the map, and there has a little river where there's beaver dams as well. So really, you're going to have everything that you need to be super successful in just like a small area. So this is why this one gets my #1 spot. Well, if you guys actually made it this far into the video, guys, thank you so much for supporting me and the channel. It really means the world to me. Also, don't forget to check out my channel. You know, I have lots of how-to videos, starting to stream a lot. Follow us on the adventure of Small Tribes Official. It has been kind of a wild ride. We had Simps invade. We got raided twice. We got threatened by a subscriber. We got admins that said they were going to raid us, and then they started watching the stream. So it's been a crazy and wild ride. So if you guys want to enjoy that and follow the ride, please follow my streams. They've been a blast. We have a lot of fun. Listen to smooth jazz as well as just some random stuff as well. Might throw in metal on my next stream because I got permission to put some metal music on it from an artist I really like on YouTube. So let's have some fun with it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!